as heavy rains have left both human and material damages across the continent. This is Mogadishu, Somalia's capital, almost completely submerged. Lives have been lost and properties damaged. Over in the Central African Republic, the worst flooding in 2 decades has left at least 28,000 people homeless. Torrential rains have pounded the country for several days, causing the Ubangiri River and its tributaries to overflow.
November 3rd, approximately 7 p.m. 2019. We have the same fireball that was here last night. My name is Charles H. Brahe. I'm the creator of the Minuteman Files. What you're seeing is 100% real. We are in the Morongo Valley Desert of California. This fireball has been appearing for the last 3 nights in a row. It just went behind the mountain again.
Wait, let's get to the thing you were talking about on social media. I missed that.
So were you on social media at all yesterday evening, yesterday night?
I'm always on social media, but I didn't say anything about aliens.
There were people convinced last night that an alien invasion was happening in North Texas.
Where in North Texas?
Because of what the radar looked like last night.
Okay. Are we going to see it?
This is like my Twitter,
Wait, what
Facebook
is that?
just blew up yesterday night talking about, are aliens happening? Did we get a, alien invasion, that sort of thing? We're all here today, though, so I don't think Independence Day happened yesterday evening. But we got tweets like this. This is from Phillips. He's asking, what is happening with the radar? An alien invasion. You see kind of those green circles there. This one also from Chris asking, did the radar break? Well, no, it didn't break. Misty Lynn was asking, what are these rain circles on the radar? Also, the other side of this is I'm very impressed that so many people were checking out our radar, even though there was no rain. We had clear skies last night. So I went back and pulled the radar. This is what it looked like last night between about 8 to 10 o'clock last night. You see those circles from DFW area down between Waco and Austin, also in and around the San Antonio area.
An exhibition in progress at the Colosseum in Rome features a reconstruction of Moloch, an ancient deity associated in sacred scripture and secular sources with child sacrifice, and has been approved by the Vatican.
See, get back.
By now, of course, Valentine's Day chocolate's just about going bad. Roses, for sure, are long since dead.
Yes, but 9 months later, thousands of Valentine's Day text messages are fresh in the phones of many across the country.
Mysterious texts were sent to people all over America, sparking confusion and, in some cases, brief panic. The messages sent on November 7th are perhaps best explained as texts sent in the spring that never went through. 28-year-old Portland resident Stephanie Bovey got scared when waking up to a text reading OMG at 5 a.m. and called her family members thinking something was wrong with her newborn nephew at the hospital. Later, Bovey learned others got some of her texts from February that failed to go through, including a Valentine's Day message to her sister. While the cause is still unclear, phone companies blamed others and had no other explanations to offer. A Sprint spokesperson cited a maintenance issue, but did not explain further. T-Mobile dubbed it a third-party vendor issue, and Verizon and AT&T opted not to answer questions.
And we're told that the two carriers that were impacted the most were T-Mobile and Sprint. And you brought up a great point, Maurice. Why on Valentine's Day?
Why not the 15th?
Of all days.
Why not the 13th?
Why Valentine's Day?
Unbelievable. So the course of history was probably changed.
Yeah.
People just didn't get together, right? Deals were broken.
Now we have precedent, and we can blame it on the carriers.
Alert this morning for 2 million pounds of chicken that could contain pieces of metal. The voluntary recall affects several forms of ready-to-cook chicken shipped to restaurants, hospitals, and schools in 8 states, including Pennsylvania. No chicken sold in stores is included in the recall.
All right, it is time to bundle up fast. An icy blast of Arctic air is invading a big part of the country tonight.
Nearly 2/3 of the country could be hit with record cold temperatures as an Arctic blast moves east across the United States.
What does that mean? It means normally we get above this temperature, and there's never been a day where we haven't gotten above this temperature on that particular date.
Bolivian President Evo Morales has resigned. Morales announced he was stepping down Sunday afternoon after the military asked him to leave office. An audit indicated there was a clear manipulation in the country's elections last month. Morales' victory sparked deadly protests, which have shut down schools, businesses, and public transportation. Earlier in the day, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo tweeted support for the findings from the election report.
Past hour, former Bolivian President Evo Morales has landed in Mexico City after the government there offered him asylum. He was greeted by the Mexican foreign minister. Morales told the crowd waiting he had no plans to retire from politics. Well, his supporters back in Bolivia have been protesting in El Alto, which is a stronghold for him there. Teresa Bo joins us live from there. So, Teresa, presumably people there will be encouraged by the words of Evo Morales as he stepped off the plane there in Mexico City, saying that he would continue in politics, but obviously a lot of anger over how he was forced to leave the country.
This country is divided, and while many in some parts of Bolivia are happy that Morales resigned, others here are very, very angry. They're saying, they're celebrating that he actually made it to Mexico, but now they want him back. And because of the tension, there's also the armed forces on the streets controlling the security situation. We just, about an hour ago, there were 2 fighter jets passing right on top of us. These people say that they're trying to intimidate him, but they're not going to give up. They're going to remain on the streets until Evo Morales is back. And the other thing that they've been saying is that it's expected to be a meeting today in Congress to try and swear in an interim president. They're saying that they're not going to support anyone that comes in to replace Morales.
Buildings ripped open and shutters ripped off. Locals in this hamlet have been picking up the pieces after an unusually strong quake hit. It was just before midday on Monday when everything began to shake for several seconds.
It was really scary. I can't describe it. I was worried the roof would fall in.
These are really old buildings, and we've never experienced a quake. I would never have believed it.
Several homes have been splintered from the roof right down to the ground by the 5.4 strength tremor. This resident was fortunately not at home at the time.
All of this moved, and it could now collapse.
The top floor of the town hall is not accessible. The roofs have all collapsed. The roofs on the 2 churches look like they could cave in. We haven't done a proper assessment, but the damage seems great.
That damage suggests the quake struck at a depth of between 5 and 10 kilometers. 4 people in total were injured, one of them seriously. The Crues nuclear power plant in the Drôme region was temporarily shut down, but French power giant EDF said there were no effects on production or on the site's safety. Hundreds of firefighters were deployed across the region to evacuate over 8,000 residents from their homes.
Are you all out? How many?
3 local sports centres were quickly transformed into shelters where hundreds of people have spent the night in safety.
A massive nuclear tomb in the Marshall Islands is reportedly starting to crack, reports Business Insider. It was put there by the United States in the late 1970s and is filled with waste from extensive nuclear weapons testing that took place in the area in the mid-20th century. The pit also contains contaminated soil shipped all the way from a nuclear testing site in Nevada. Business Insider notes that after the crater was filled, it was topped with a concrete, but its interior was never reinforced. Years of rising sea levels have made it possible for water to seep in below and cause the protective cover to crack, and it's feared that, in time, it will break open. About a month ago, the Marshall Islands declared a national climate crisis, noting that a problem it did not create is now posing grave consequences.
Yes, the pawns are in place and the stage is fake, but the outcome will be very real. America's Civil War.
Thank you, and please be seated.